Hey, welcome. If you're here, it's because you're looking for a step-by-step acrylic nail tutorial, and I have a lot of information that I'd like to share with you. It is a long video, so grab yourself a cup of coffee, your tea, water, I don't know, maybe hot cocoa if you're watching this in the winter, which that's when I'm uploading it. Get some like Christmas vibes also. If you're interested in the nail art portion of this video, then you would be watching for the Christmas nail design. Also, a step-by-step nail art tutorial. The first thing I did was push the cuticle back. This lifts any dead skin that might be attached to the natural nail. And then I will brush the debris away with a manicure brush. I'm going in with a 240 grit sanding band using my Efile at 4,000 RPMs. Why did I say it like that? Or RPMs. I'm not trying to stay serious the entire video. I am going to etch her natural nails and then I will focus around her cuticle area. We're going to remove anything that will come in between the product and her natural nail. This will definitely avoid any lifting. So make sure you focus around this area. It is very important. Also really important is etching the natural nail. You want to create a base where the product can adhere to. So if the natural nail remains too smooth, it will not stick. So etch the natural nail. Some do use a 180 grit. That may be acceptable if you are gentle on the natural nail. Once I am done with this portion of the prep process, then I will come back. This will also allow my puppy Mina, who is not a puppy, she is 11 years old, continue to eat because her bowl is right next to me and it is making some sounds. Again, using my manicure brush, I'm going to dust the debris away. I will be going in with tips, measuring them from sidewall to make sure they fit the natural nail as best as possible. If the tip is too small, you want to size up and then cut off the edges if you need to. Do not put on a tip that is too small. I'm going to be cutting to her desired length. I'm using a form that I just cut to reference the size and make sure I cut them all the same length, fingertip to free edge. This hand file has a 180 grit side and a 240 grit side. I'm going in with the 240 grit side. It is more gentle. I'm going to blend her tips to her natural nail. This is going to make the application process more seamless and easier, and it will also avoid lifting on your sidewalls once the application is done and you've been wearing your nails. Please keep in mind that blending the tip using a manual file is more beginner friendly, but if you are comfortable with an e-file, then you can go in at 4,000 RPMs and blend the tip to the natural nail with the sanding band. I try to focus my blending right at the tip where it meets the natural nail so that I do not cause any unnecessary damage to the natural nail. You can tell that I am taking extra care to remove all of the dust and debris. I'm using both a dust brush and a manicure brush. Then I will go in with this cleanser. It is a swipe. It cleanses and dehydrates the nail. I'm going to go in with a primer. Make sure you saturate the nail without touching the skin. It's very important. This can be the most challenging part of learning how to do acrylic nails. And I will say that in the many years that I've practiced application, I still struggle. You will get into a routine, you will sometimes mess up, and that is okay. The most important thing is that you are not hard on yourself. Do not let it discourage you. You will get the hang of it. You will get a routine down. And if you take any breaks from application or not doing nails, it will become difficult the first couple times, but it will get better. Anything that you do repeatedly, you will become accustomed to. It will become second nature. So just do it over and over and over again. The most important thing to know is your brush. How much monomer goes into your brush, how much monomer you're releasing from your brush when you swipe it off of the Dappen dish, and how much powder you're putting into the brush. You want to know your bead sizes based on the nail size, how much acrylic you want to pick up. These are all things that you need to pay attention to when it comes to application. So on her pinky nail, I'm going to go in with maybe a little bit smaller beads. And what that means is I'm going to release a little bit more monomer and I'm going to pick up a little bit less powder. I do have a bead formula that I came up with. I have a video on it. I will list it in the description box along with all of the products you will need to do an acrylic set to help you out. If you have any questions on anything, please let me know. I have no problem doing the research if I don't know myself, and I will either comment or update the description box. All right, so as you notice, the video is on slow motion. This is going to be very raw. I haven't done an acrylic set in months. I picked up some monomer. I placed my brush in the powder and picked up as much powder as I thought I would need. And I'm trying to place that bead in the center and let it go. I am swiping down. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't touch the skin. And if you saw there, it was trying to seep back into that sidewall. So I use my brush to control it. And I'm constantly trying to clean my sidewalls because I want to try to keep as much of that shape that I can in the nail. So again, I pick up a small bead. I place it at the cuticle. The finger is angled down. I'm allowing gravity to help me. And I'm letting that acrylic flow down. I'm guiding it with the tip of my brush. Not at an angle, but almost flush. Okay, so don't make that tip, hurt the bead or poke it. You want to have it almost parallel. So it's just helping guide the acrylic down. And I am cleaning my sidewalls, trying to keep that shape. That is very important because otherwise, if your application is going all over the place, at the very least, you are cleaning your sidewalls and keeping that square shape. It helps with the time that you spend filing. I also want to talk about how many beads you're using. You know what? Use as many as you need to use until you get used to it. What you want to avoid is a lot of time filing. So I'm going to use as many beads as I need to avoid filing time. Okay, so whatever that takes. I'm placing my bead, I'm angling the finger down, and I'm guiding the acrylic. Swiping, cleaning my sidewalls. Swiping, cleaning my sidewalls. Also very important, you don't want to trap acrylic in the brush. So I am swiping the brush every time I am done swiping on the nail onto the hand towel. Again, I am swiping the acrylic and then wiping it on the hand towel. Swiping the acrylic and then wiping it on the hand towel. I'm going to make sure all the residue is off before I put it back in the monomer. Make sure it's clean. I will say this, if you take your time, so it may take you a little bit longer, with picking up the beads, your bead placement will be even cleaner than mine is in this video. So again, I encourage you to watch that bead formula video. It will be linked in the description box. It has been so helpful and has done so well for many of you. I've gotten so many messages and comments. I just know that it will help, or I'm confident that it will help. All right, another slow motion spot. I am analyzing how much acrylic I need or where I'm going to place acrylic. Saturate the brush. Dab the brush 2 times. I'm going in with a medium bead. Place my brush in the powder, count about 2 seconds, place my bead, release, and you guys see how liquidy it is? What does that tell me? That I didn't release enough monomer from my brush to pick up that size bead. You know what else this is showing me? That I shouldn't be dragging my brush in the powder. And you shouldn't be either. We get comfortable with application and we're in a rush and we just drag that powder on the brush, then we're just getting used to clean up. So on this bead, I needed a small bead for the cuticle area, and you guys saw I just dabbed it in once. And look, that bead was clean. It was easy for me to work with. And I'm just guiding it down. It doesn't run back into the cuticle area. And it's exactly what I needed. So that method is very, very helpful. I've gotten a lot of feedback on it. So that's everything I'm going to talk about with application. I try to be as detailed as possible and sharing what I know. So if you guys have any questions, again, feel free to ask. I will come back in the next step. Now we've made it through application. I'm showing you what my final result looks like for this step. I'm starting with my sidewalls. I'm putting that shape back in. I'm going in with a 80 grit file, and you want to season the file a little bit before you start. And what that means is just using another file and smoothing out the edges because they are very sharp and you don't want to cut your client or cut yourself if you're doing your own nails. So I'm going in on the sidewalls, putting that shape back in, and I'm holding the file parallel to the sidewall to make sure my shape is nice and crisp. And then I'm just going to start on one side and then continue to work my way all the way to the other side. And you will notice that the parts that are darker will show you that there are still dips and that the acrylic isn't level. I've talked about this in other videos, but if you haven't seen any of them, then that's how you know your nail is level, and that's how you get that straight, level application looking nail. So you want to make sure you file until you see that the entire nail is etched. That's why filing with this file is really nice, because it kind of serves like as a level, and it allows me to cover a wider surface than the e-file at once so that I make sure that everything is level. That's how you know. That's very important. You want everything to be level. I've used that word more than 10 times. Uh, it's important to have nice and level and flush, and that's why we file after application.
She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that she'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody.
So I'm trying to keep the dust at bay and just make sure everything is nice and clean, but I'm still going to continue to file. I'm going in with this step with a 180 grit sanding band, so you can step up how coarse the sanding band is, because now you're only working on acrylic, so you're not really causing any damage to the natural nail. So with this step, I'm going to crisp her free edge, as you saw there. I'm going to focus around the cuticle area, make sure that I continue to seal that acrylic to the natural nail. A sealing does happen during application, and then you perfect it with either a sanding band or a fine safety bit. To keep it easy and the products that you will need, we will just stick with the sanding band. I'm going around, sealing the cuticle area. Make sure that that apex area is smooth and flush, just blending everything together and then going over the entire nail, making sure I smooth all of the scratches and lines that we've created with the 80 grit file. And so this step is also somewhat buffing. So I came up with this just because it's easier, and you probably could manage to skip that step, but you probably should buff. I don't end up buffing, but if you have a buffer, I will add it on the list. Just go in and quickly smooth out and buff your nails, and it really just helps seal everything and keep it together, even though the 180 grit would be similar to a buffer. And basically, you just want to smooth the entire surface out for nail art. Also, you would have noticed that I showed you filing without a dust collector because, depending on your budget, then you would either have one or not have one. If you don't have a dust collector, it is important to use a mask when you are filing, and just make sure that you do not inhale any of the dust particles when you're filing acrylic or gel. So make sure you do protect yourselves in at least some way. So use a mask if you don't have a dust collector. It's really important. Right, so now you dust the debris away, and congratulations, you are done. Everything is nice and smooth, level, nice and crisp. And she would go wash her hands and get ready for nail art. Now, this would be the nail art portion. So we will begin by painting the two middle fingers. She doesn't have two middle fingers, her ring finger and her middle finger, with this beautiful, stunning red. We couldn't believe how beautiful this color was. So I'm just going to do a full nail, and then you want to cure. Every time you apply one coat of gel, you want to cure for 30 seconds in an LED lamp and 1 minute in a UV lamp. But I'd highly recommend that for your nail lamp, you choose LED. It is storming outside and it feels so relaxing. I really do love stormy, rainy days. I didn't used to, but now I do. I don't know if you can hear it, but maybe the microphone is canceling it out. It's super cozy. All right, so I wanted to talk about the cleaning brush. You definitely want to have one ready for you and a little bit of either like acetone or rubbing alcohol. You can go in and clean around your cuticle area if you're not, comfortable, or if you make it messy, it's okay. Just use the brush, clean around the cuticle area, make it nice and clean. And after that application, I did cure. It is out of frame, so you can't see it, but I do flash cure after each application because I do not like when my gel polish pulls. So normally to cut time, sometimes nail techs will do the application on all 5 nails and then cure. But I like to cure it for 10 seconds on each nail. It does take up a little bit more time, but I'd recommend just applying it and then curing all 5 nails. But you can, if you're a beginner, I would say to flash cure. That's what this video is about. But I do like to flash cure because I do take pictures and post them. I try to keep the gel polish as crisp as possible. So I mark where I want my French to basically dip. Maybe I'm saying that right. Maybe dip or end or fall. And then I go on to the side wall and then I just swipe down. Don't overthink it too much. Just let it glide and then swipe down, because if you do, you'll want to start over and over. And yeah, it'll just take up more time. So just swipe down and then fill in the rest with the gel polish brush.
Drive alone in December rain. They play my favorite song. I see a snowflake melt on the deck. I'm awful cold and longing for the holiday. Counting days until you're here. I've been waiting this whole year. Dear Christmas, Christmas, Christmas night. I know you may suffer light, but together we're alright. You know we're ready for Christmas. Can't wait to head back home. When the sleigh blows cold, I hit the road. Baby, let it snow. We're ready for Christmas. Why you so far yet close?
All right, so here you will see that I'm going in with top coat to seal the gel polish in. You can go in directly into the next color and apply your French in that color, and then cure, and then go in with top coat on all 10 nails. But we didn't want any like fuzzies to get stuck, or because sometimes we were taking a break and we were talking, and sometimes when someone's on their phone, then you don't want to risk it. So we went in with gel polish and top coated that just to make sure everything was good to go. And then we went into the next color. But if you are a nail tech and you're going through the process, then of course you just want to move on to the next color and then top coat all 10 nails to try to be more efficient and then cure.
You know
Right, so we cured, and here just wanted to show you that we are measuring where the French tip falls and marking it so that they all look pretty symmetrical and just similar. Once you're done with this step, then you would top coat, then get on to the next step.
So baby, let it snow. Deck the house. That's when the snow starts falling. I pick all the presents up for you. Decorate the fireplace for two. I keep waiting all night, all night. Wish upon a starlight, starlight. I sleep under the mistletoe. Wake me up with a kiss on my nose. It feels so magical, yeah, look where we were small. Someone's been here and there. The star kiss for all. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas night. I know you may suffer like, but together we're alright. You know we're ready for Christmas. Can't wait to head back home. When the sleigh bells call, I hit the road. Baby, let it snow. We're ready for Christmas. Why you so far yet close? I think I hear them call. So baby, let it snow. We're ready for Christmas. Can't wait to head back home. When the sleigh bells call, I hit the road. Baby, let it snow. We're ready for Christmas. Why you so far yet close? I think I hear them call. So baby, let it snow.
Sitting by the fire, feeling oh so fine on this holy night. The Spirit guides us. All the stars they shine on this lovely night. We light up the world, forget our troubles for a moment. And every stranger is a friend. So
All right, so now we're going to be going in with a cute little snowflake. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this method before, but it's easier to just draw in the dots and just connect them. It's basically what you're doing. So you're putting a dot in the middle, then going up, down, and to the sides, and then you just connect the dots with your striper brush, and that's it. Then we're going to go in with some sugar glitter, pour that over before you cure. You just pour it over, go in and cure, and then dust off the excess. You can draw in both snowflakes and then pour the the sugar glitter over both of the snowflakes and then cure and then dust off the excess. But in this case, we're going to do one at a time. We're just making sure that we're keeping everything nice and neat. We don't want to mess anything up. But if you're comfortable and you're confident that you won't accidentally put your finger on it like I might, then go in and do both and then cure.
'cause when joy fills the air, you already know it's Christmas. Love beyond compare. It's Christmas time. 'Cause when joy fills the air, you already know it's Christmas. Love beyond compare. It's Christmas time. Oh, what a blissful sight. We're singing heartfelt carols in the night. Warm embrace the Spirit's bride.
All right, so now we are going in with a peppermint nail, and this one was a little tricky because I knew I would have to draw everything in before I went in with the sugar glitter. So I just trusted the process. I tried to move as quickly as possible while still making it look like a peppermint nail. So you will see that I finish and then I do the sugar glitter and then we would go in and cure.
And friends unite. We light up the world, forget our troubles for a moment. And every stranger is a friend, so let them join in. 'Cause when joy fills the air, you already know it's Christmas. Love beyond compare. It's Christmas time. 'Cause when joy fills the air, you already know it's Christmas. Love beyond compare. It's Christmas time. Cause when joy fills the air, you already know it's Christmas. Love beyond compare. It's Christmas time. Cause when joy fills the air, you already know it's Christmas. Love beyond compare. It's Christmas time.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas.
That turned out really cute. I love seeing her face. Like after I would dust off the sugar glitter, it would light up and it was just, I don't know, just really rewarding. She was so excited. She's like, oh my God, this is so cute. So that was really fun. But you can't see the white on white too well on this design. So I'm just drawing 2 straight lines down and then going in on the sides and then just dabbing like the tip of the nail art brush with some gel polish to make it look like it's, raised from the nail. You'll see me do that and then cure, and then I go in the center. And again, I do it to protect the design because, sometimes I don't trust myself. I didn't want to mess it up and put my finger on the side or anything. But I just want you to understand the method to my madness. So I will draw this portion in, like you see here. Make sure all of my lines are straight and thick so that they can absorb the clear acrylic. So we are going in with clear acrylic this time to seal in that design. And then we will cure, dust off the excess, and then continue the center part of it, and then seal it in or pour the clear acrylic over, and then cure, and then dust off the excess.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sanctuary. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do.
And for this nail, we came up with just going in and making it look like a Santa hat, the little fuzzies on the end, just to give a little bit more visual interest on that French in that nail. And then once I am done and we're happy with the end result, we go in and seal that with the clear acrylic to give it that matte look, and then cure and then dust off the excess.
Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Here we go. All right. Now this Christmas, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance, dance, dance. Come on. We're gonna dance.
Just put that moisture back in her hands, lotion them up, put on some cuticle oil, and this is the end result. I hope that you enjoyed this video, it was informative, and that you loved the design. If that was the case for you, hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. Hit your notification bell. Make sure all of you have your notifications on. My intent for 2025 is to continue to post. I'm going to try to dedicate more time and post videos consistently. And if I can't, I will communicate that with you all through the community tab. So I hope you guys will join me and continue with me on this journey. Thank you so much for watching, for taking time out of your day to be here. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next video.